Okay, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters qualifier, as we're going to have Yoda versus ForGG, not MMA. So this is our third last series of the day. The winner of this will go on to play against Saxery, if I'm correct.
Yes, you are correct.
And then the winner of that will go on to play against First.
That's right. And the winner of that actually joins Vortex to fly over to America, to the States, to play in the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose tournament. So which players are going to be? We have only Koreans left now in the lower bracket, so definitely a Korean will join Vortex, but which one is it? ForGG has his Terran versus Terran match now. He was meant to have a lot more earlier, unfortunately due to Cass. That did change up quite drastically, but he's got one now. So let's see if the expertise of ForGG's Terran versus Terran can defeat a WCS Premier League finalist here. And Yoda has been rocketing back to the top of the scene recently with fantastic performances left and right. Can he actually qualify for a tournament here? This is going to be a difficult one. Like you mentioned before, MMA and Yoda, when they played, MMA practiced to beat ForGG, which he did, and then made Yoda look like a peasant. Now, Yoda must play ForGG.
That's completely accurate.
Hashtag storylines.
Hashtag real talk, man. All right, let's get into it then. Game number 1 for our third series of the night, as we have, or third to last series of the night even, as we have spawned down to the bottom right-hand corner, it's our blue Terran representing TCM. It is Yoda. And up to the top left-hand corner, it's our red Terran representing Team Millennium. It's ForGG.
So, ForGG, I've watched so much of his Terran vs. Terran, trying to study it and understand it. He loves gas first openings, obviously, like every Terran. But more importantly, he is in love with the unit, the Hellion. And lots of blue flame stuff. He's very, very good at getting aggressive in the early game, whether it be with a Hellion Marine drop, whether it be you know, a Banshee opening, whatever it is, or into a Raven drop, whatever. He's very, very good at these type of builds and very good at getting aggressive. But on this map here, he has chosen the barracks before the gas, whereas Yoda has chosen the traditional gas first here. And ForGG should be going for a 14 or 15 gas here, you would imagine. Scouting SCV, off he goes. So next should be a gas. I'd be very confused if it wasn't.
Okay, I was going to say, where's that rally going? That was a bit weird, but it was just for the previous one, as there is the gas going down now. And I mean, I have to echo your sentiments of, you know, you said you watched a lot of ForGG in his TvT, and it's one of my favorite matchups and players to watch. Watching the TvT from ForGG's point of view is just stunning because of the things he does with things like Hellions. He is willing to just make a ton of them and then break through buildings with Hellions. Things like that make it really, really fiery to watch. So it's nice to see.
Yoda is committing to an attack, some form of attack early on, no matter what here. ForGG sees what he's playing against already, so he knows he's the defender in this game. So he's going to have to play usually double Marine. It depends. You can go double Marine Reactor, or you can go to the factory as soon as you get 100 gas, depending on how fast you want the factory, pretty much, or how many units you want out in support with the factory. It is going to be the Reactor, and then the factory shall follow. But he needs a lot of Marines or a lot of Hellions. He can choose which he prefers. Obviously, more Marines are better for bio transitions, better for bio drop counters, better for dealing with Banshees, whereas a lot of Hellions are just kind of better with dealing with non-Banshee aggressive builds that Yoda can go for. So ForGG's got to choose which one he wants to use to defend with.
Yeah.
Whereas Yoda is going for a Banshee here. He can follow up with a command center, or he can follow up with a tank as well, and a tank Marine push.
Yeah, can go with that.
Those are his two options.
Yeah, we've seen ForGG using that a lot in the past as well. That kind of really aggressive stance that has oftentimes just killed his opponent straight up. But at the moment, a lot of ForGG's defense is going to be relying on just a few Marines trickling out here. As he doesn't have a whole lot more.
He needs to switch now or keep building. So he keeps building. So he's going to be mostly Marine here. And then with a single gas being taken, it's going to be Starport and then Viking, then or Medivac or Viking first, depending on which he feels comfortable. Viking obviously is the more defensive. Medivac opens up his counterattack faster. Double gas is kind of normal from ForGG to take kind of soon because he doesn't want to aim towards a Raven eventually. Ravens are just the most useful unit in the early stages of Terran vs. Terran. But looking at Yoda, it's gonna be Banshee, and then Marines coming out 2 by 2, but only a Widow Mine from the factory.
And Yoda's poking around with this SCV at the front, and ooh, once that orbital is finished up, if he flies that out there, then he'll have a good indication. But at the same time, Hellions 2 push it away anyway. So.
There's a tech lab on the factory now for Yoda, so he's actually committing quite heavily to all 3 structures currently.
Yeah, the Widow Mine was placed at the back as well, just to greet anything that will come along. Because he was a little bit in the dark, but seeing only these 2 Hellions now, it's giving him a little bit of peace of mind.
Second gas for ForGG means he is going towards Raven soon. It's going to be after the Viking. But now he knows that the Banshee's on the way for sure. He knows it's not a Marine Hellion drop. He's got to save energy, get the Marines in position, get ready to scan, and hopefully kill the Banshee. If he kills the Banshee straight off, he's in a godlike position.
Yeah.
But this is going to be followed up by a tank Marine Raven push from Yoda. But that's when we'll see probably the factory switch up with the starport for the reactor on the Vikings. But
wants to bait this a bit further in, because scanning there would have made it hard for those Marines to do anything against that. And there goes the scan. How much can he do? The Viking actually didn't fire off on the first volley. A little bit of miss micro there by ForGG.
But buys enough time for a second scan, pretty much instantly ready.
True.
And then the Raven as the third detection follow-up.
Yeah, but at the same time, this push is coming out from Yoda here.
Yeah.
So quite powerful in itself. Another Banshee's on the way.
ForGG never spotted the follow-up here. The Hellion Scout will be the pickup of the follow-up here if he sees it.
And
Sees Marines coming, and that's enough to know a push is coming now. So he's probably going to have to pull SCVs to deal with this. He's getting ready to build a second factory, which is going to switch up with the tech lab to be able to get the blue flame, but he's got to get ready to deal with this. If he can catch the Marines in single file with these Hellions, though...
That'd be very nice.
Oh, there they are single file, but couldn't get around to them.
The Widow Mine first, so drawing the fire from that, not quite on the right angle.
Already energy used in the middle of the map there. That's not good.
Yeah, that auto turret actually won't be that useful at all during all of this.
ForGG can fall back now and then get ready to his own defensive auto turret, but here come the SCVs.
Yeah, doesn't want to lose the Raven, does end up dying in the end. So that Banshee does technically have energy for Cloak, but it's not going to use it just yet. You're going blow for blow. Those SCVs at the front helping out quite a lot, and he will be able to fend this off.
Another Banshee, though.
Still has no anti-air. Pick up the Viking and get that going.
The tank survived!
Oh my god.
And now we can siege up here. And then there should be a second tank following up.
SCV's turn for the run of that siege tank, wants to really bring that down, but at the same time, he just tries to drop down the scan, gets the tank with the Hellions, and pushes on forwards, pushing that Banshee away.
ForGG's in trouble right now.
How many workers is it? 31 to 29. The command center's been stayed behind this for Yoda, and he does lose the Banshee in the end. This is going to get cleaned up, but he's lost quite a few workers during it.
Very good play, push from Yoda here. It's worked out nice. ForGG's getting ready to push this back, but again, another Banshee comes in. Cloak up.
Gotta wonder though. Well, this Banshee still needs to do. The worker count's 31 to 31, and the second command center isn't done yet.
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same with the Banshee still got a couple of kills in it.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
so it's good for Yoda. This.
Yeah, it needs to just.
But there is counter Cloak coming in, counter Banshee coming in. So that's something that Yoda, with losing his Raven, is going to have to deal with.
There we go. At least he spotted it, right? I mean, with the Banshee going in there and actually seeing that tech lab researching, so that's not too bad. Wants to drop the scan as soon as it's there. That Banshee will die, but he just got so many extra worker kills. So 27 to 32 now.
Yeah, well done. Usually you see most players cannot even inflict that type of damage to ForGG, but Yoda did make that work. And now it's time to prepare your turrets for the Banshees, which Engineering Bay just finished up 4. So we should see a couple of turrets sprinkled in.
It's like unless the Banshees actually do something, then Yoda just has an advantage, right? I mean, although how many Hellions does he have? 6. They're going to poke forwards, 2 tanks there to siege up and force that away. It's not easy.
Time for a third CC or something from ForGG here now, because he's not going to get much done anymore. This is a good time to squeeze in, I think, before adding on any other structures. But the Banshee's going to come into the back here, and the turret's going to push it back. 2
turrets as well, and really covering this location firmly. So we're a little bit surprised, I guess, with the wiggle around to see that second turret, and has to back off.
And there's another Banshee too, but this natural won't be broken. Maybe if the Banshees can get around to the tanks, but there should be Vikings on the way soon for Yoda, you'd imagine.
Well, again, for ForGG, he's normally in that spearhead mentality, so I guess he might just try and force it.
Well, if he picks off the tanks, then the Hellions can go in with their blue flame, and he is building a lot of them now as well. So the Banshees here are very important to keep alive for 4GG.
Definitely.
If he loses the tanks there,
Scam will dissipate. Wants to really get to that weakened base.
I can't believe he didn't actually build any Vikings here before Medivacs. He's having a hard time against these Banshees.
Oh, that one Banshee actually gets away there. Lots of more Marines coming along. Never gonna get it. Oh, just barely.
It's good that you got that, though.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Because as you can see, 4GG's building up a lot of units right now. A lot of Hellions, and they do have blue flame, and he does like to jump on this with a couple of auto turrets. Could easily. Third CC before any other production, though. That's usually normal 4GG. Then from this point, Armory, and then the double gases on the natural, or the other way around, whatever case, but usually an Armory. There it is.
And the third command center is going down for Yoda as well behind all of this, realizing that the Banshee threat has been thwarted, and then any frontal pushes would always be kind of lackluster against the army that he's built up because of the economical position that his opponent was in.
But Hellion alone versus this is not that good.
No.
There's a lot of Marauders in there. They do have Stim. There's tanks.
One Marine leading the charge. Oh, we don't mind. Didn't do too badly.
Oh, got another tank.
Yeah.
What tank?
And then once all the tanks are broken down, the Hellions.
Yeah, very good against Marines there. Good spray onto the Marines. These Vikings can easily land to come into play as well.
Yeah, this
There's a Banshee in here as well.
Yeah, Yoda has to be a little bit careful about how far he moves out.
He lost too many. He wanted to push out, but he lost a little bit too much there.
Yeah.
But 4GG now going up to 5 factories. Third base will be taken properly in a moment. He's missing his +1 attack. Slight mistake there from 4GG.
I mean, it's a strong decision to have just those 2 Widow Mines out in the middle as well, just to kind of delay and maybe pick off a little bit. But wow.
Yeah.
All right, then. This
Best way to play against mech is the Doom drops.
The Doom drops. Yeah, it's going to work out all right.
But there is an SCV moving into position here. Might give the Vikings a head up. Oh, misses
He's going to skirt, yeah.
It's going to do a lot of damage. The SCV line's exposed, the armory's exposed, gas is exposed.
This is a lot of pressure, and his army is way out of position. He's trying to fly over to take his 4th base and the gold base.
Yeah, he's so far out of position. This is a very good drop by Yoda.
Yeah, he could even get the armory if he wanted to. I mean, there is a world of opportunity here for him. Gets the upgrade, shuts that down for the meching player that's really relying on the power of mech to push on through. And the Blue Flame Hellions should be able to clean this up in the end, but he takes a lot of losses.
Yeah, it's a lot of Marauders doing damage.
Yeah. It's not the most efficient of trade here for you, whilst also he's pushed everything off the mineral line, he killed the armory, and behind all of this, Yoda is just mining happily.
Yeah, this is a really, really good position for Yoda. He's missing his 2nd engineering bay, I think. That would be nice to go into 2-2 at this point while everything was going on. But he's on 3 bases. He's got another force built up. Yeah, very, very good game here by Yoda so far. Going toe-to-toe with 4GG, as we all know, and have done for a long time, that 4GG is one of the best TvTers, if not the best.
And the addition of the extra, well, the next armory is actually in a more defendable location in between all these bases where he's actually pushing all the reinforcements through. So he's accounting for the potential of Yoda going for something like that again with his predominantly bio force and bio play, and just making sure that he's going to hunker down and be strong.
Yeah, the one thing that Yoda mustn't stop doing is drops. You want to do another one soon, because right now 4GG is still vulnerable. A lot of Hellions, a lot of units here. It's Banshees in the mix too. Still no Vikings being added on.
Yeah, the Banshees cause problems.
And there's a Thor kind of stuck in the main base. He's got to try and find his way out there.
Where is he? Thor. This little guy?
Yeah, he's got to come help. He's got to come help. Banshees on the tanks. Ooh. Good position here by 4GG. Very strong position here.
Yeah. Just using the range of the Banshees along with the range of the siege tanks to make it difficult for him. He has to pull the siege tanks back, but one of them already falls. Oh, nice. Lovely pickup. Those Vikings.
Third base is going to be exposed, though. There's a great position to camp on. You can put tanks on the high ground, low ground.
Yep. Never doubt 4GG and TvT, because it will come back to bite you if you're not careful here from Yoda, who has to defend on multiple locations. He's actually going to push into these siege tanks. He's going to lose quite a lot here.
He loses everything.
There's 4 Banshees as well, going to rain down absolute terror on this force.
God,
and he even snuck in with these Hellpats at the back, transformed from Hellions to do damage.
It started well for Yoda with that drop, but things just got a lot worse here.
A lot worse, yeah, to say the least.
Yeah,
he's dead.
Yep.
Reinforcing with just a few siege tanks and marines. It's not going to cut it against this force from ForGG, who all the time, somehow, some way, makes this matchup his for the most part, unless your name's MMA.
It's a great combination of units here from ForGG. It's the Viking Banshee tank, you know, Blue Flame against the Marines. It's kind of a really good play here.
Very, very strong. There you go. GG. ForGG takes game number 1 in a game where Yoda looked dominant at the beginning.
Yeah, he was pushed at the start, did very well for him. The follow-up drop did pretty good too, but ForGG just, you know, the combination of units that he just uses them so well and kind of controls them so well too. He gets so much done with what he has.
It's the finite things. It's the drawing across the 2 locations, from the natural to the third base, the poking with the Banshees, to have the siege tanks in support of them. Just the range of those units.
No one really builds Banshees throughout the game, though, like ForGG does, which is a little bit difficult to deal with there, because he didn't have Vikings or turrets protecting his tanks, nothing there, which allowed the tanks to just get picked off so easily. Got to be careful about that. ForGG he likes to build his Banshees all the time. Definitely.
Well, Catalina is going to be our next map as ForGG continues his run of terror down in the lower bracket. And he has an opportunity to go all the way, I dare say, because right now, the people standing in front of him are Saxary, who technically has very good ZVT, but and then first after that...
Saxary's already beaten ForGG today 2-0, so could easily do it again.
All right, well, let's get into game number 2 then and find out if ForGG can advance on. As I said before, Catalina is our next map, so let's get right on into things. As we have, spawning up to the top right-hand corner, it's our blue Terran representing TCM. It is Yoda. And down to the bottom right, it's our red Terran representing Millennium. It's ForGG.
So Reapers are pretty good on this map. You do see a couple of builds where people do try double Barracks Reaper. It's not as popular by the really good players, actually. They're the ones usually defending against it, funny enough here. So it'll be good to see which player attempts something like that.
And overall, I still have a lot of confidence in ForGG. I still have a lot of confidence in him. I think he can go through this series. Then at Saxary, well, yeah, I guess you have to kind of account for the kind of bracket curse thing we have in WCS, where you lose once, maybe you come back in the next one. Maybe ForGG can do that here as well.
ForGG going to go gas first this time. And
so is Yoda.
Yep. So there is with this opener a way to squeeze out a Reaper. You can go 1 Marine then Reaper if you want to scout here, or it depends on if you want to try to play a little bit reactionary, if you want to try to get the Raven out first, or if you try to just kind of go for your aggressive play no matter what. I guess we'll see.
So, it was weird when I was looking at the minimap then. I thought that was the second gas for Yoda. I was like, wait a minute, but no, it's just right next to the gas. So it was, at a glance, looked a bit strange, but for now, very similar builds.
ForGG's drawn the weaker position here with all the airspace around his back. Very difficult to deal with, and very difficult to play mech in this position too, because you either need to play a very active style like he did previously with a lot of Vikings, a lot of Hellions, to be able to move around a lot, or if you slow down your mech and play a lot more tank-focused and just Hellbat focused, then you're going to have a huge turret ring, which is very hard to do and expensive.
True. So from that conclusion, do you think that maybe ForGG will get very aggressive himself and not even want to play out the later game?
Yeah, sure. He could try what he likes to do, which is the Banshee opener into the tank push, or something like that.
All right, well, we'll see if that comes to fruition here. Supply depot being placed on the very edge here, just in case there was a Reaper. You get foresight of it very, very quickly, because right now, neither player has a clue what the other one is doing, because it is so difficult to scout out early on at the beginning.
Yeah, and because ForGG's kind of changed it up a little bit here, it's not like Yoda can predict what he's going to do at all.
Yeah.
But second gas taken by both. Pretty identical openers. The only difference here is that the reactor's been added on here for Yoda, which delays the starport slightly, and also the tech lab, which will not be the case here for ForGG. But also he is allowed to build Marines faster compared to ForGG, who cannot. Differences, very simple.
True. And SCV moving out now for ForGG to have a little bit of a look around. It's going the wrong way, so by the time he even gets up to the top right, I mean, it would have hardly got any information anyway, because there was already a Marine there, but at least he would have poked up and seen something. But, oh no, there would have been 3 Marines out, so.
So Banshee more than likely from ForGG here. I wonder if Yoda looks like he might be trying to go Raven, Marine Raven. We'll see. ForGG going to switch over. Banshee, I would imagine, here.
Yep.
And then he usually after he gets Cloak with the next set of gas, he gets like a Tech Lab and Reactor on the barracks and factory. Is his follow-up. But it is Raven for Yoda indeed.
So hard to play TvT when you have no information, and then you just have to take a middle-of-the-road build, really.
Well, Yoda's planning like an attack himself, but with 3 auto turrets. So the Raven built really fast, tanks really early too. So it's going to be like a tank push with Raven support. Very strong push, a lot of Marines too. But this also is pretty good against what ForGG is doing in a way, because the Raven helps out so much versus the Banshee that's coming. And then the Marines are here too. And to be honest, you should be building a Viking straight after the Raven. It's like a Raven, Viking, tank, Marine push with a lot of support here. So Raven first, and then the Marine should be able to help out against the initial Banshee. And then, of course, the Viking follow-up is good as well here. So Yoda's setting himself up nicely. And unfortunately, ForGG up against it a little bit more here in this game, I'd feel.
True, true. We've seen him do, make miracles happen, though, in this matchup, as the Banshee's going to skirt around the left-hand side and try and find a vulnerability in this mineral line, which it will do because it's coming from a direction that maybe Yoda wasn't expecting. A very annoying direction that he wasn't expecting.
This Banshee's going to come in. And he's going to get a couple of kills, and any kills a win.
Yeah.
And he gets 2, maybe 3.
Nope, slight misfocus. Would have got an extra one.
3 in total. And then he's in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah, that's dead.
And he didn't really see the follow-up. It's just like a Raven Marine build. He didn't know the tank or the follow-up properly. So he's got to be very careful here. He is starting his own tank, but he's going to lose the air war because the starport was so active defensively, now aggressively for Yoda with the Viking and Raven out early, whereas the Banshee for ForGG, which is not useful not as useful at the start, defending against this.
So unit counts and army supply. We've got 31 against 23.
Yeah, it's a good push coming from Yoda now.
Yeah,
very good push. Very, very difficult to deal with this.
It's easier for him to sneak out those siege tanks earlier on because he just hasn't committed as much gas as his opponent did to the alternate tech that really didn't do anything. I mean, did Cloak do much? Not really.
Maybe Cloak of this next Banshee can help out in the defense here somehow if you can get rid of that Raven, but 2 tanks, bunch of Marines, Raven with 120, 5 energy, couple of auto turrets already.
And he lost a siege tank straight away during all of that.
ForGG loses this. He is eliminated from this qualifier, remember.
Yeah. And throws down a few auto turrets here to hold on against this. ForGG pulls a lot of SCVs off the line to try and hold on, but Yoda, I think he just has too much damage potential here. 20 workers have already died off.
There you go. Got stung by the better build order here, ForGG. Said it from the start. Yoda had a great opener. And it looks like he is going to, beat, well, not beat, but move on here to be able to...
well, to 1-1.
To 1-1, right. Well done. Well done. Good play.
Yeah.
Very good start there. Yeah, I thought he was going to be eliminated for a second there, but then ForGG did win the first one. Good play from Yoda. Just like really, really good opener. Great strategy. And unfortunately for ForGG, he kind of ran into the wall there a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult. Again, on these like multiple spawning maps, hard to really kind of understand what your opponent's up to at any given time. And yeah, as you rightly said, he got stung. So third map is going to be Merry-Go-Round, which has similar issues, actually.
Yeah, it can be played out very similar. Of course, it's probably one of the most aggressive maps in Terran vs. Terran. Very small, 3-player map. Gas first, very popular. Yeah, we could see something again like that.
Yeah, we could. These guys are ready to go by the looks of things. Very, very quick into the lobbies are our Koreans here in the European region. So we're going to get into game number 3 in a second. One of these players will advance on to play against Saxary, and then from then on, they go on to play against First, who is waiting in that qualification series, basically, to see who gets that second spot. San Jose, if you're just tuning in, Vortex, of all people, has already advanced on. Spoiler alert, I guess. There you go. I keep doing that. I keep saying it after I've given the spoiler, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the TvT on the way. Yeah,
so Yoda really fighting back in that second game, and very one-sided there too. Be interested to see how they open up, how they play, and what who wins this next one.
All right, let's get into it. Merry-Go-Round is our map, as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner. It's our blue Terran representing TCM. It is Yoda. And up to the top right-hand corner, it's our red Terran representing Team Millennium. It's ForGG.
So 4GG tried the gas first, which he's quite used to doing, but didn't do so well that time. Now he's got to be thinking how to stay alive in this and not be eliminated by Yoda. There's Yoda. Nice confidence boost there. Well executed attack. Was able to pick up that game quite easily.
Yep. Good stuff by Yoda. Because overall, I mean, a build like that, if you can, you just run up against like that kind of build in TvT every so often, and almost every Terran can execute it well at this level, and it's a matter of really understanding what's going on, because 4GG clearly didn't have the highest of understandings when that kind of push was coming out, because he sacrificed a tank so early on when that was hitting. So
he had no idea that was coming.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, Yoda got lucky. His build was better than 4GG's. If 4GG had opened up more standardized, then it'd be a completely different game. But unfortunately, he couldn't. He didn't see it with his Banshee either, which is another downside of you know, the Banshee being picked off so easily there. But we've got to mix up the builds again. We have Yoda going for the 14 gas here. So 15 is usually when he's going when you play not with a Banshee opener, but 14 gas can still be squeezed out with a Banshee. Whereas we have 4GG here, and he's going for a Reaper. Reaper expansion.
all right then, looking around, having a bit of a see what's going on. He's already sent his SCV out to spot if he's down in the bottom location. We'll see nothing, so that will give his Reaper a good heads up to head exactly where it needs to.
Yeah, this plays out interestingly here, because 4GG will have the faster expansion, but Yoda's also going to get information. Oh no, well yeah, he will, because he should see the Reaper even if you know, unit popped out and stopped the SCV scout. So both players know that, or should know, depending on 4GG's scout, what's up.
Sees the Reaper. So knows the exact build that's going on right now on 4GG World.
Yeah, even a second Reaper too.
Yeah, ooh, nice.
And then the command center. But as you can see, Yoda's already got quite a few units out, so it's not too much of a problem.
Unless he's sneaky with this Reaper, it's going to be difficult. He takes command center on spot, though, behind all of this, realizing, well, there's not a whole lot that these his opponent's forces can be doing on the map if my Reapers are going to be threatening. And the Marines, they may get juked. Ooh, SCV goes up to have a look around, see what's going on.
Yeah, sees the factory timing. It looks like you know, a 14, 15 gas opening. You can't tell exactly what it is there. But second gas behind this as well for Yoda. But he's got enough Marines here where he shouldn't take any losses. 5 Marines, 2 Reapers is fine. So you can always bring, I mean, the 2 Marines will lose the 2 Reapers, but he can bring the others around to help.
And unless Yoda really kind of puts on some pressure or catches up in terms of the economy game, this is... Oh, wait. 2 Reapers poking around.
Yeah, sees the factory finished up, sees the second gas. Good scouting here by 4GG.
Yeah, good stuff. But in the end, this is how 4GG normally likes to just go for his big mass Hellion plays. Very, very early a command center than his opponent, just really amassing up a strong number and then basically ramming it down his opponent's throat. It's so strong, unless you can do something about it as Yoda.
And seeing this, I'm not too sure where 4GG is going to go with this here. He's probably going to go Raven. I mean, not Raven, sorry, Banshee. He's a bit faster in every department here than his opponent. The Reapers had really good information. Yoda doesn't know what the follow-up here this is. Just knows it's Reaper expansion into something here, which the Hellion's going to try and get some more info on. But it will get shut down here. And there's 2 Hellions who pop out as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to poke around, not doing too much. Engineering Bay finished up behind all of this as well for 4GG.
Yeah, he's going Banshee, turrets, and his opponent... Ooh. Oh no, Viking actually, that's interesting. Okay. So it'll be Viking then Raven. He's actually expecting Banshees to come out from his opponent, and it's a Raven, so... Both actually not really going super aggressive here. Yeah,
a bit misleading overall, but this will give 4GG opportunity to... you know, get himself in a really nice position, because with that command center being on spot and him slowly mining from it, he's already built the missile turret there of all things. Should be okay.
Yeah, really good position here for 4GG here. Much better economy, better setup.
And you can't really go down this ramp just yet without many Hellions poking around.
Yeah, nice and early 3rd command center from Yoda.
Sees the Hellions. Decides to block.
Oh, and the Reaper's going to spot that too. Spots the 3rd command center.
So nice.
But it is difficult to break a player who's on tank, Raven, Marines. So usually it gets matched. You kind of match the third command center, but I wonder if ForGG's got any timings planned against this that could work.
The Marines had to be very, very careful about how they took that engagement. And yeah, did spread them out just a little bit there, but they all get scratched and scathed as more Hellions on the way here for ForGG, just really building up that number now. Going to town.
Yeah, he's going to add on his second factory and get Blue Flame. Reactor for the Vikings here. So Hellion Vikings with the Raven he's going to build up towards. And then usually the add-on for next ForGG, the way that he plays it is the third command center. But we'll see where he'll go with this. He can build a lot of Hellions from this position. Yeah,
poking around at the front with his Viking actually sees the siege tank now, and he walks up there, gets a few Marines and pulls on out. But in the end, Yoda understands how ForGG plays the matchup, so getting these siege tanks at the front can hold on against these heightened number of Hellions.
And he's got to hold on versus anything with the third command center.
Is he just going to go up here? He actually is with the auto turret, trying to soak up some of this damage. The Hellions kill off a lot of the Marines, and then have to get on out of there. The auto turrets were helping out too much during that fight. That was really ambitious by ForGG, going up there with that number of Hellions. Not when he waits for more.
The most important part is he lost his Raven, which, you know, is actually very important to if you're going to hit a... He can't really hit a timing anymore. Like, that was it. I mean, he could have waited and then hit a stronger one, but he decided to go there and it didn't work. And so this third command center will play off of it for Yoda. And ForGG's had to throw down a third of his own.
I'm very surprised that he pushed. Very, very surprised. Because, I mean, once you get up to 2 factories worth of production of Hellions, that's just now been spotted and the transition onto full mech has been revealed, you have so much power behind a huge number of Hellions against this. But
well, ForGG's fallen behind now just naturally.
Yeah.
The third command center earlier, then that attempt of a timing didn't work either. The one thing that ForGG's going to try to get back into this is the drop. He has a Medivac on the way. He's got Hellions out, obviously. He's got Blue Flame. Or will have by the time this is ready. And if he can drop and get a lot of SCV kills inside that main base, then his own third command center comes back into play. He can make his 5 factory work. If he gets that +1 attack down, he can take his third, and things start to look bright again for ForGG. But currently, it is Yoda in the lead. Does not know about this drop, though.
No, no, no. And it is Hellbats, of all things, going straight into this mineral line with Blue Flame. So they will roast up a lot of SCVs quickly if he doesn't react properly. As still unnoticed.
He needs to get damage done.
Oh, hasn't noticed it yet either. Doesn't pull the SCVs away. And, well, not a huge amount of workers killed off. Hellbats aren't that quick, so they can't really chase that down too easily. And has to drop again because the Vikings are prepared and good to go.
Not a lot of damage done. And that, you know, probably wasn't enough there. As you see by the supplies, it's still in favor of Yoda. ForGG is building up. He's about to take his third base faster than his opponent, which is always nice when playing mech versus bio, but not really successful there for ForGG. He's going to try again. He's going to build another Medivac. He's going to hopefully try and get another one to work, because that's where he's going to find his strength, to be honest.
And then overall, I mean, in this game, when does ForGG start adding on Banshees if he wants to actually ramp up that? But then he'd have to have Vikings out as well to aid the support. It's because right now, I mean, Yoda already has the air dominance, right? So he can't really mix in that many Banshees at the moment.
He might try to squeeze in a Raven first and then go back into Banshee production or something, because a Raven offers the point defense drone, makes it so helpful and useful versus the Marauders. But for now, ForGG is going to try to drop again, but the Vikings and Raven are present in the main base. This is not looking good.
Oop, drops a scan, sees the extent of his opponent's army, and this Marine will also spot that the third base has been taken already. And, well, if he clicked on the mineral patches, you'd see that that's only really been saturated just now, or a little bit ago, so.
Yeah, and now this is the point where the drop can happen for ForGG, but he's also got to get ready for that movement out that you can see happening by Yoda. So 2 things at once ForGG has to concentrate on.
He thought the missile turret was enough to deter this, but right now it is not, as he kills off a few workers already, which is a nice start for him. He was sending all of his army down to the third base to try and reinforce it, thinking there was a double-pronged attack coming, but there wasn't.
Well, if he just leaves a couple of units on his third to protect against run-bys, that's the only thing that should really happen here for ForGG, is multiple small amounts of Hellion run-bys, but that is it. The rest of the army for Yoda should be trying to pressure ForGG's third.
Where are these going?
And he's not really protecting that third, but luckily for him, ForGG didn't go for it. Another drop for ForGG is going to happen again.
But all the while, this mech army is
Yoda
gathering
has to
momentum.
move soon because the problem is, as good as a lead he's got to kind of capitalize on it because ForGG's tank count is rising. Once the tank count is high, he can take on this force.
Oh, and he's moving out into the middle himself as well. He doesn't want to be sacrificing many of these Hellions before things.
3 Marauders for no Hellions there, or maybe 1 at the end.
Yeah, not too bad.
Gets away.
But this position's reinforced. I mean, these siege tanks aren't going to be broken too easily.
Too many tanks now. This is very difficult.
Vikings poke forwards, and actually, the Hunter-Seeker should be able to kill off. He's bringing his Hellions with that. You don't want to have them too clumped up, but he's going to push anyway. Hellions, how much damage are you going to be able to soak up? Because those siege tanks at the back are raining down a lot of havoc. And Yoda, I think he's overextended.
Yeah, too many tanks. He missed his timing. He missed his opportunity there. He could have broken that, or not even broken it, but maybe sieged up on the 3rd. But now he's been chased away. The Hellbat drops have been a pain in the backside. 15 SCVs have been killed. ForGG takes the lead in this game after that wonderful set of drops. Great time buying. And then also now, I mean, he's just rallying over there. He may be able to finish the game off after that.
Yeah, this is a bit brutal here. Yoda now has to scramble for the defense because he has 3 siege tanks against 10, and the siege tanks at the back in support for this Thor as well, and the Hellions. There you go. GG, it's way too much to deal with. ForGG advances on 2-1.
Yeah, he does there, and can't help but feel that Yoda had a good opportunity to do very well in that game, but missed his chance there. You cannot allow ForGG to build up like that, and you've really got to siege up and allow ForGG to come into you, not the other way around there.
Yeah.
So very well done there for ForGG. He will be able to move on another round in this tournament. But now he goes up against his toughest challenge today. Again, he goes up against Saxury, the DreamHack Valencia champion, who he's already lost to once today in this qualified, 2-0. He must face him in a rematch to potentially fight for a ticket to go to the Intel Extreme Masters San Jose.
All right, so join us after the break, guys, when we'll have our second last series of the day for the Intel Extreme Masters qualifier. It's going to be ForGG going up against Saxury.